Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Advanced Viral Parasitic Brain Cancer. Fong Tang sat in the hospital full of the smell of disinfectant, holding the diagnosis book in his hand. It's a very rare, parasitic melanosis virus, that enters the deep nerves of the brain with the blood supply system of the brain. This melanin worm virus has only been found in the laboratory's rat culture samples before. It has been found in humans. You may be the first case. The Best Renha Hospital in Mordor, Director Liu of Neurosurgery is trying to explain to Fong Tang in the simplest way. Young man, this virus can self-replicate and constantly evolve. Drugs are basically useless for it, and even radiation can't effectively kill it, because it's equivalent to hiding in your brain. Your brain has become its armor now. Fong Tang interrupted the doctor. How much time do I have? Young man, it's hard to judge. We may have miracles in medicine. A month. It's not as fast as you think, although melanosis virus has invaded the innermost part of your brain. 2 months. Director Liu took off his glasses, 3 months at most. Fong Tang stood up and said, "Please give me the painkillers for 3 months. Thank you." In front of the young man's calm appearance, the doctor was at a loss. "I can recommend an expert to you. Dr. Yang, the neurosurgery of Dai Tongren Hospital, is an authority in this field." No time, no money. Fong Tang put on his coat. 3 months of painkillers, thank you. Light yellow tablets, with the smell of cattail blue, sugar-coated outside, holding in the hands of a heavy feeling. A bottle of 90 tablets, 1 tablet a day, warm water. The side effect is weakness and drowsiness, which may lead to weak hallucinations in clinical application, because aspirin painkillers contain jujube and morphine components, as well as a large number of calming components that inhibit neural enzymes. Fong Tang was in the wet and cold hospital toilet, looking at himself reflected on the yellow tiles, fuzzy elongated figure, haggard with a gloomy look. Swallowing a painkiller with tap water, he turned to open the toilet compartment full of advertisements, covered his mouth, squatted beside the toilet and began to cry. Depressed, deep cry from the throat. After coming out again, the red and swollen eyes looked more like a dying man. Wiping his hot eyes with cold water, he walked out quickly. Hospitals are full of breathless negativity. From the corridor to the outside of the ward, it was white, representing the white of death. White walls, white doors, white coats, white medical records. Behind the white building is the critical area for cancer and cancer patients. In the cold wind of autumn, a girl with high heels and a suspender vest was crying under a tree outside the Department of Hematology and Infectious Diseases, holding a blood test report tightly in her hand. Her back looks very enchanting, because crying too much, skirt turned up, showing a large white. But around the dejected, as if the zombie of the male patients, no one is interested in looking up. It seems that the medical records in everyone's hand are death sentences. Fong Tang stood by the green belt for a long time and watched the girl stagger away. Unfortunately, I didn't see her face. I don't know if it's as sexy as her figure. All of a sudden, he began to mourn for his deathbed optimism. 3 months, 90 days, what else can we do? I'm a loner. My parents died early. After graduation, I have a good job in Mordor. When I'm full, I'm finished. Even if I die in a rental house, it will take a long time to be found. But Fong Tang looked up at the blue sky in the evening, looked at the warm sunset, and tried his best to breathe the fresh air. But, after all, I'm only 22 years old. I used to think about changing my so-called destiny through struggle. But sometimes, no matter how hard you struggle, you are still a salted fish with only dreams. Fong Tang did not know how to return to the rental house. On the 2nd floor of the old lane of Mordu, there are caged rental houses separated. There are several game pictorials pasted on the yellow walls. A bed, a table, a large jujube red cupboard with a copper lock that he picked himself up and began to sort and pack everything in the rental house. Clothes, books, electronics, the giver of the giver, the donation of the donation. Fong Tang began to seriously consider whether to donate organs after death. Then you have to think about who can do things for you after you die. Or, to find a place where there is no one and leave alone. But at least we have to call the landlord and prepare to return the rent, so as not to die here and implicate others. All busy, slightly empty rental room, Fong Tang in the corner of the bed found a yellow-red double-high cigarette. This is the last time my company colleagues came to play. Fong Tang, who never smokes, clumsily holds the cigarette and takes a deep breath after lighting it. There was a musty smell in the dry nicotine and tar. After a severe cough, there is a feeling of dizziness. Open the dilapidated second-hand computer. Fong Tang opened a document. After inputting the word suicide note, he began to daze at the screen. There are 3,262 yuan in the bank card, 127 yuan in the WeChat, and a credit card I used when I was in college. I have hardly used it. This money, in Mordor, is the cost of living for 1 month. Maybe not enough for coffins and cremation. Fong Tang rubbed his head, deleted the letter and replaced it with resignation letter. Again in a daze. After deleting the resignation letter, Fong Tang finally typed out the 4 words, wish before death. Finally, he was excited to tap the keyboard. Fast, full of passion, as if in retrospect, in the short life of 22 years, all the wishes that can only be imagined at ordinary times have been written out. A trip to Tibet. Have a top French meal. It's the biggest nightclub in Demon City. Slap the head of the company, Luo Guangtou. Kiss that pretty girl in finance. Tell Suya who has been secretly in love. Confession. Suya. Fong Tang's fingers trembled, stopped typing, and his heart swelled with uncontrollable enthusiasm. Suya, the girl sitting in front of her in high school, is a girl with long black hair. So far, Fong Tang closed his eyes. It seems to be able to feel the wind blowing her long hair over his nose itching, as well as the fragrance of that light long hair. He secretly fell in love with Suya for 3 years, a whole high school. But there is an insurmountable gulf between them. Before the college entrance examination, Suya was sent to the University of Birmingham to study business administration. Without any accident, she will soon inherit the family's huge wealth and become a real lady. Later, I heard from my classmates that after graduation, Suya went to Mordor and worked as a senior manager in a family company. Fong Tang took out his mobile phone, found the WeChat group of high school, and opened Suya's head. If it was before, he would not have the courage to do such a ridiculous confession. But at the moment, he did not hesitate. Xiaoya, I'm Fong Tang. I don't know if you remember the boy sitting behind you. In fact, I've loved you since I was a freshman in high school. Send directly, throw away the mobile phone. Fong Tang relaxed lying on the bed. He soon fell asleep. Ding dong. The reply of WeChat is especially loud in the silent room. Fong Tang got out of bed in a daze and fumbled on the ground for a long time before he found his mobile phone. Open WeChat. Suya's head is bright and moving. Fong Tang. Where are you? Give me the address, quick. The sequelae of painkillers made Fong Tang feel dizzy. She replied. Is this an illusion? I'm in Modu, Old Lane rental room 2.6. Haha, beautiful illusion, you still remember me. He sent a message, put down his cell phone and fell asleep again. Ding dong. Ding dong. WeChat news keeps ringing. The medicine effect recedes, the brain wants to crack the sharp pain, like the tide, like a wave of surge. After this hard half hour, Fong Tang was wet with sweat. Ding dong. He swallowed a painkiller again, and now he's very conscious. He grabs his cell phone and turns it on. He was stunned to see the full screen of private chat news. I'm Suya. I'm nearby. That's great. You're here, 2. Fong Tang, I want to see you. Very urgent. I'll go to you now. Here I am. Knock, knock, knock on the door. This is not a dream, Not only replied to the message, and Xiaoya really came. Fong Tang came to the door in a trance. Is it a miracle? Is your wish coming true? The knock continued, accompanied by a low gasp. Fong Tang, is that you? I'm Suya, Xiaoya. Fong Tang opens the door. Red coat, white skirt, some pale face, beautiful eyes. Is it really Suya? Suya staggered in and closed the door with a backhand. Did she drink too much? As if after a hangover, Suya staggered to his wire bed and lay on his back. Then she raised her hands shaking and unbuttoned her clothes one by one. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.